At just 16, Uwezo Lubenda is shaking up Australian sprinting. One race, one record-breaking run. That's all it took for him to prove that Gout Gout isn't the only rising star anymore. His blazing 100-meter sprint didn't just break records, it sent a message that a new rivalry has officially begun. In front of a stunned crowd in northern Queensland, Lubenda, who hails from Townsville, clocked an astonishing 10.35 seconds in the 100 meters. That time broke Hugh Donovan's under-16 record of 10.73, set all the way back in 2010. To call it a breakthrough would be an understatement. For context, this time would have been fast enough to move past the preliminary heats at the 2025 World Championships in Tokyo, a senior-level global event. And it couldn't have come at a more interesting time. Just a year older, Gout Gout, Australia's reigning sprint sensation, had previously dominated the headlines. At only 17, he'd already represented his country at the World Championships, reached the semifinals in the 200 meters, and smashed the 10-second barrier in the 100 meters twice in a single day. His time of 10.17 seconds at the age of 16 remains among the best ever seen at that level. But now, there's a new contender on the track. Uwezo Lubenda's performance doesn't just rival Gout's, it redefines the conversation. This isn't just about being fast. This is about stepping onto a stage that only a select few in the world are invited to. Gout has competition, and Australia has two teenage sprinting juggernauts heading toward the 2032 Brisbane Olympics. What makes Lubenda's emergence even more compelling is the journey that brought him here. Born in January 2009, Lubenda is a Congolese immigrant who moved to Australia with his family in 2013. Since then, he has steadily risen through the ranks, powered by raw talent, discipline, and the unwavering belief that he belongs among the world's best. After receiving his gold medal from former Olympian Paul Di Bella, Lubenda told the Townsville Bulletin, "Man, I feel amazing. I was kind of hoping for a time like that. I wasn't thinking too much about it, but I'm really grateful." That humility, combined with blistering speed, makes him a dangerous prospect. In fact, this isn't just about record times, it's about how he wins. At the Queensland event, Lubenda didn't just edge out the competition, he dominated it. Eyewitness reports and event footage described him finishing with a huge lead ahead of the chasing pack. That kind of race execution speaks to more than speed. It speaks to composure, confidence, and world-class athletic maturity. His coach advised him to stay relaxed, stick to his rhythm, and keep it simple. And Lubenda did exactly that. Everything went smoothly. Everything went according to plan, he said. It was a performance that not only broke a record, but also turned heads internationally. Meanwhile, Gout Gout continues to build on his impressive resume. Born into a Sudanese family that migrated to Australia 2 decades ago, Gout has carved a name for himself through sheer dominance on the track. He has already signed a lucrative endorsement deal with Adidas and has shared that the sponsorship allowed him to focus solely on training. Reflecting on the deal, he told GQ, "It was crazy. The number kept getting higher and I realized how much these companies think I'm worth. But that sponsorship really helps you get to the next level because obviously you need the money to travel and to train. Especially since I'm at school, so I don't need to go and find a job at Macca's or whatever to put fuel in my car. It definitely helps a lot." But endorsements and experience now meet a fresh wave of hunger. Lubenda is just beginning to taste success and has his sights clearly set on the 2032 Olympic Games. "My goal is 2032 Brisbane. I've got my eyes on that," he told the Townsville Bulletin. "I'll be 23 or 24, so I'll be in my prime as a sprinter." This rivalry is a rare gift for Australian athletics. Both sprinters come from immigrant backgrounds. Both are redefining what young athletes can achieve, and both are laser-focused on Olympic glory. Yet they offer contrasting styles and narratives. Gout, a polished professional already familiar with global competition, and Lubenda, the underdog phenom just starting to shake the system. At the 2025 World Championships, Gout clocked 20.22 in the 200-meter heats and 20.36 in the semis. Strong performances, though not enough for a finals berth. It was still an admirable showing for a 17-year-old and a reminder of how far he's come. Yet, that performance now stands in direct comparison to Lubenda's 10.35 in the 100 meters, a time achieved a year earlier in age with seemingly limitless potential. Lubenda's performance has also sparked comparisons to Usain Bolt, the Jamaican sprint legend known for his electrifying starts, long strides, and showmanship. While it's far too early to draw direct comparisons, the similarities are intriguing. Both Bolt and Lubenda tower over many of their peers. Both burst onto the scene as teenagers, and both showed signs early on that they weren't just athletes, they were forces of nature. Australia now finds itself with two teenage phenoms capable of challenging the best in the world, and that creates not just excitement, but urgency. The Brisbane 2032 Games are no longer a distant dream. They are a real, looming battleground where national pride and personal legacy will collide. What's especially exciting is the narrative tension. Will Gout maintain his dominance as the face of Australian sprinting, or will Lubenda's rapid ascent knock him from that throne? Already, analysts are speculating about potential matchups at the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, an early taste of what could be the marquee rivalry in track and field. Lubenda, for his part, seems unfazed by the pressure. "In the past, I wasn't the best," he admitted, "but I'm starting to have more confidence as I'm improving more. Last year, the races were close, but this year, I'm seeing a big difference. I'm waiting to improve more so I can be better next year." That kind of self-awareness and hunger is rare in athletes his age, and it's a sign that Lubenda isn't a one-hit wonder. He's a worker, a student of the sport, and someone who's just beginning to scratch the surface of his capabilities. Meanwhile, Gout is already showing signs of maturity and foresight. Speaking about his future, he said, "Long term, I'd like to set myself up and set my family up. I've saved a lot, and I bought myself a new car when I got my P's provisional license, so that's probably the biggest purchase I've made so far. I haven't gone crazy. That level-headedness will serve him well in the years to come. He's already proven he belongs on the world stage. The question now is whether he can fend off the challenge from Lubenda, who is gaining speed and confidence with every race. For Australian fans, it's a thrilling scenario. Two brilliant young sprinters, each with unique stories, now destined to push each other to the absolute limit. It's a rivalry that promises to elevate the entire sport. And for the sport of track and field, the timing couldn't be better. With growing global interest, especially ahead of back-to-back Olympic Games, the rise of Gout and Lubenda offers a compelling storyline that's about more than medals. It's about identity, perseverance, and the power of believing in something bigger than yourself. Uwezo Lubenda has sent a message, and it wasn't just to Gout Gout. It was to the world. The next generation has arrived, and it's sprinting into history. A 16-year-old just shattered the Australian 100-meter record that stood for 15 years. Uwezo Lubenda blazed through the finish line in 10.35 seconds, fast enough to qualify for the World Championships. This teenager isn't just breaking records, he's rewriting what's possible in Australian sprinting. Here's how it happened. A school athletics meet. Nothing fancy, just kids competing, parents cheering, coaches timing. Typical Saturday morning stuff, right? Wrong, because on this particular day, at this particular meet, something extraordinary was about to happen, something that would make the entire athletics community sit up and take notice. His name? Uwezo Lubenda, and what he did on that track wasn't just impressive, it was historic.
Good stuff from Rufus on the inside. Lubenda in the middle is a wide advance. Moving with his so proudly. Lubenda, the defending champion from this age group, strolls into the final.
At just 16 years old, Lubenda exploded down the 100-meter track in a mind-bending 10.35 seconds. Let that sink in for a moment. 10.35 seconds. To put that in perspective, that's faster than most professional sprinters. That's faster than athletes who've been training for decades. That's world-class speed from someone who probably still has homework to finish tonight. But here's the really incredible part. Lubenda didn't just run a fast time. He obliterated a record that had stood for 15 years. 15 years! That's longer than most high school freshmen have been alive. Records like that don't fall often. When they do, it means something special is happening. And trust me, something very special is happening in Australian athletics right now. Now, you might be thinking, okay, 10.35 seconds sounds fast, but how fast is it really? Let me break it down for you. That time would have qualified Lubenda for the heats at this year's World Championships. Read that again. A 16-year-old running at a school meet just posted a time that would get him onto the world stage, competing against the planet's fastest men. Lubenda is out here running times that professional athletes dream of achieving. He's not just fast for his age, he's fast, period. This isn't some kid who's quick in his school. This isn't someone dominating regional competitions. This is a teenager operating at an elite international level, and he's only just getting started. But wait, there's more to this story, because Lubenda isn't the only teenage sprint sensation tearing up Australian tracks right now. Enter Gout Gout, another 16-year-old phenom who's been making headlines of his own. Gout holds a personal best of 10.17 seconds. Yes, you heard that right? 10.17. That's even faster than Lubenda's record-breaking run. Gout has already been compared to Usain Bolt himself, and he's attracted major attention from sponsors, including landing a significant deal with Adidas. The world is watching Gout Gout, and they're watching him closely. So now we have a situation that's almost too good to be true. Two incredibly talented 16-year-olds, both Australian, both running times that would make seasoned professionals jealous, both dreaming of Olympic glory, both hungry to prove they're the best. This isn't just about breaking records anymore. This is about rivalry. This is about competition at the highest level. This is about two young stars pushing each other to achieve the impossible. What makes this story even more compelling is where these athletes come from. Both Lubenda and Gout came to Australia as children, bringing with them dreams of a better life and opportunities to showcase their talents. Lubenda originally hails from the Democratic Republic of Congo, while Gout has his own unique journey to Australian soil. These aren't kids born into athletic privilege. These are young men who've worked incredibly hard to get where they are. Their stories represent the beautiful diversity of Australian athletics and show what's possible when talent meets opportunity and dedication. Lubenda, in particular, has spoken about his gratitude for the opportunities Australia has given him. He's not taking any of this for granted. Every race, every record, every moment on the track is precious to him. That kind of hunger, that kind of appreciation, that's what separates good athletes from great ones. Now, let's address the elephant in the room, the Usain Bolt comparisons. Whenever a young sprinter shows exceptional promise, the Bolt comparisons start flying. It's almost inevitable. And yes, Gout Gout has been dubbed the Usain Bolt of Aussie tracks. But here's the thing. Both of these teenagers are running times that justify the comparison. When Bolt was dominating the world, he made sprinting look effortless. He made the impossible seem routine. And these kids, they're doing something similar. They're running times that shouldn't be possible for their age, making it look easy in the process. The comparison to Bolt isn't just media hype. It's grounded in legitimate athletic achievement. These young men are operating at a level that demands we pay attention, that demands we take them seriously as potential future legends of the sport. But records aren't broken on talent alone. Let's talk about what it actually takes to run a 10.35-second 100 meters. The explosion off the blocks needs to be perfect. The acceleration phase requires tremendous power and technical precision. The maximum velocity phase demands flawless biomechanics. And the finish? That requires maintaining form when your body is screaming at you to slow down. Every single aspect of that race needs to come together perfectly. One small mistake, a slight stumble, a moment of lost focus, poor lane conditions, and that record doesn't fall. Lubenda executed everything to near perfection. That's not luck. That's years of training, countless hours of practice, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. And at a school meet, no less. Imagine what he could do with the pressure and energy of a major championship. Imagine what he could achieve on the world's biggest stages. Here's where this story gets even more exciting. The 2032 Olympics are coming to Brisbane. That's right. The Olympics are coming to Australia, and these two teenage sensations have their sights set squarely on that prize. Can you imagine the storyline? Two Australian sprinters, both discovered as teenagers, both breaking records and turning heads, both racing for Olympic gold on home soil. The stadium would be electric. The nation would be watching. The pressure would be immense. Lubenda has already stated that the 2032 Olympics are his target. He's not hiding from the goal. He's embracing it. That's 7 years away. 7 years to develop, to grow stronger, to refine his technique, to gain experience. If he's running 10.35 at 16, what will he be capable of at 23? The same question applies to Gout. With a current best of 10.17, he's already knocking on the door of sub-10-second territory. That's the holy grail of sprinting. Only a handful of men in history have ever broken that barrier. Could Gout be next? Could Lubenda? This rivalry isn't just good for these two athletes, it's phenomenal for Australian athletics as a whole. For years, Australia has produced world-class swimmers, cricketers, and athletes in various disciplines. But sprint dominance, that's been harder to come by on the world stage. Now suddenly, Australia has not one, but two legitimate teenage sprint sensations. Young kids across the country are going to see Lubenda and Gout and think, I could do that too. Athletics clubs will see increased participation. Coaches will have renewed enthusiasm. The entire ecosystem of Australian track and field benefits from this rivalry. Competition breeds excellence. When athletes push each other, when they force each other to be better, everyone wins. The sport wins, the fans win, and most importantly, the athletes themselves achieve things they never thought possible. The question now, when will Lubenda and Gout face off head-to-head? That's the showdown everyone's waiting for, the race that could define a generation. Lubenda's record is just the beginning. He's chasing Gout's 10.17, chasing Olympic glory, chasing greatness. With Brisbane 2032 on the horizon, Australia suddenly has two legitimate sprint sensations pushing each other to new heights. The rivalry is real. The future is blazing fast. And if you're not watching Australian sprinting right now, you're missing history in the making.
And Baye's quest has gone, you suspect. The 16-year-old Alemayo coming home ahead of Gumi. And it is a new World Under-18 record.
Marta Alemayo is taking the track and field world by storm. At just 17 years old, the Ethiopian phenom isn't just competing with the best, she's dominating them. Race after race, she's leaving world-class runners in her wake and smashing records that once seemed untouchable. Marta isn't just a rising star, she's rewriting what it means to be young, fearless, and unstoppable in long-distance running. It all started when the world got a first real glimpse of Marta's raw dominance at the 2024 World Cross Country Championships in Serbia. Back then, she was only 15 years and 357 days old. But what she lacked in age, she made up for with sheer grit and a motor that just wouldn't quit. Competing against athletes up to 4 years older, Marta didn't just survive, she conquered. She blazed through the course to win the U20 individual title and helped Ethiopia clinch the team gold as well. This made her the youngest women's under-20 world cross-country champion of the 21st century, something not seen since Kenyan legend Rose Koski's win in 1997. But Marta was just getting started. 1 month later, in April 2024, she took her talents to the track. At the Kipkeino Classic in Nairobi, she ran the 5,000 meters in 15 minutes, 14.54 seconds, leaving her competitors in the dust. The time was more than impressive. It was a warning shot to the world. Marta wasn't just a cross-country phenom. She was about to become a terror on the track, too. By the time the World Athletics U20 Championships rolled around in August 2024, all eyes were on her. In Lima, Peru, Marta clinched a bronze medal in the 3,000-meter race. While she didn't walk away with gold, her podium finish confirmed one thing. Marta wasn't a one-hit wonder. She was consistent, dangerous, and still getting better. Then came the moment that truly put Marta Alemayo in a league of her own. On January 25th, 2025, at the Astana Indoor Meet in Kazakhstan, a gold-level event on the World Athletics Indoor Tour, Marta took the starting line for the women's 3,000 meters. She wasn't just racing the clock, she was chasing a record that had stood unbroken for over a decade, the World U18 Indoor 3,000-meter best, set by Gotitom Gebreselassie in 2012, was 8 minutes 46.01 seconds. That night, Marta destroyed it. Clocking in at a mind-blowing 8 minutes, 39.8 seconds, Marta shaved more than 6 seconds off the old record. And it wasn't just the time that amazed people, it was how she did it. Blocked on the inside by fellow Ethiopian Shito Gumi and veteran Aksumawit Mbai, Marta could have panicked. Instead, she showed composure far beyond her years, swinging wide on the outside and kicking hard in the final lap to surge past both runners. It was a tactical masterclass, executed with the confidence of a seasoned pro. And if you thought that was her peak, think again. Just 4 months later, in May 2025, Marta was back at it. This time at the prestigious Diamond League meet in Rabat, Morocco. This was no indoor race, it was outdoors, and the stakes were sky high. Once again, she lined up for the 3,000 meters, this time chasing the World U18 outdoor best, which had been untouched since 1993. Chinese runner Ma Ningning's 8:36.45 was the time to beat. Marta ran in 8 minutes 32.20. That's not just beating a record, that's obliterating it. A record that had lasted 32 years, erased in under 9 minutes by a teenager. The run also marked a personal best for Marta, firmly placing her among the fastest 3,000-meter runners in the world, regardless of age. And let's be clear, this wasn't a race filled with junior athletes. This was a senior-level, world-class field